I've never heard of Atlyss before, though I can't say I'm really shocked to not have heard of it, as from looking at early builds of the game, I can kinda see why it didn't really get as much recognition as it does now. Not to say it was horrible or anything, but for what I've seen, from my interest would be piqued, but probably not as much for me to really get into the game at the time. The only recollection I have of finding out about Atlyss was a YouTube short from Jesse Cox about someone talking about it.
I played a game this week called Atlyss.
Atlyss?
It's like furry Hades. And I was like,
The first image I see is of like the furriest of furries.
yes.
Like, okay.
Because you truly can just make a big booty, big booba, hot fox lady if you want.
Now, of course, I'm not gonna lie here and say that the character creator wasn't the first thing that caught my attention. I do love a game that gives you the ability to make your own OC, and what really makes me love a game and what keeps me hungry for more is gameplay, graphics, and playability, and Atlyss is absolutely one of those games. Before we go any further though, I would like to point out a very important detail to keep in mind throughout this entire video, a disclaimer if you will. This entire game is made by one person. Everything you see and hear in this video is made by a single developer. Please keep that in mind and try and be more understanding and to not rag on the developer, as the game is still a work in progress. If you have any criticisms, please be constructive and not maliciously bashful for the sake of hating the game. Now, because of just how far the game is in development, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because I want you guys to experience it for yourself to make your own judgments and to not spoil too much, I'll try to give somewhat of a brief summary of what the game has to offer, at least as much as I can. So the game is a dungeon crawler RPG, and I must say it works really well. The combat is very fast paced and pretty fluid as well. You have a multitude of weapons to choose from at the start and as you level up. You also have the choice of choosing a class: fighter, mystic, and bandit, each of them having their own unique gimmicks and playstyles. I only play mage, so I can't get too into detail about the other classes. But not only can you choose a class, you can pretty much use any weapon of your choice if you wish. You want to use a bow as a mage? No problem. How about a bandit using a magical scythe? You can do that. They even added guns in the recent updates, so you want to blast a monster's face off? Go for it. I absolutely love the variety of combinations that Atlyss has to offer to create a powerful character. Now, of course, there are some limitations that are in the game, but I don't find them to be a huge issue at all, considering just how much is in the game in the first place. I think there's enough here for the time being, of course, to satisfy any newcomers to the game. Plus, there's a multiplayer option so you can play with your friends. Even if you're a loser like me who has no friends, you can still get a good amount of playtime and enjoyment just playing by yourself. When it comes to gameplay for Atlyss as of right now, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's nowhere near bad. There are a few things that could be tweaked and ironed out, but that's pretty much it. Now, I'm an early 2000s kid. I grew up with the PlayStation 2, and Atlyss really does hit home for me because of the graphics. Like, I could legitimately see this game as an early PlayStation or PS2 title back in the day. Hell, someone had the right idea and made this pretty cool cover art. From crunchy pixel textures to even smooth light textures. There's even a bit crush shader option if you want. I don't really like playing with it on even with other settings, but if that's what you want to do, you can do that if you wish. The buildings, grass, mountains, and water all look real solid and pretty much how you'd expect it to look in an old style game. If this game came out back in the day, well, to be frank, if it came out now as it is, it probably would have flopped hard, but I'm certain the concept alone would have kicked ass. Imagine how successful this game would have been completed. I'm sure a good amount of you who watch me are around my age group who grew up playing old retro style like games like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, and it's really nostalgic and heartwarming to have people, whether indie devs or AAA companies, making games that are throwback from the late 90s to early 2000s, and that is done really, really well and you can just reminisce about. So I give Atlas a perfect 10 out of 10. You can't go wrong with retro style. Normally, music isn't very important, but it's so good that it becomes important, and the role it plays when setting your mood is vital. Atlas has quite a bit of tracks for each setting and or situation, from calm and relaxing tunes of just walking or chilling in the plains to fast and heart-pounding bumps when fighting a giant golem. And once again, a single person is doing all of this. But also, from what I've gathered, a few other people have contributed towards the music, but that's pretty much it. But still, one guy is making all of this by themselves. I mean, come on, you gotta give credit where credit is due, right? Now, most of the music in the game isn't something I'd listen to on my own time, but while I'm playing it, it's just so pleasant to listen to in the background. Now, I wouldn't really say any of these tracks is my favorite from the game, but the one I'd probably say I like the most out of all of them is Kane. This is the one that I'm most likely to listen to on my own time. Sometimes I just like to go into the area where the music is played and just sit and listen to it after clearing a few dungeons. Like I said, the OST doesn't really make me want to listen to it on my own time willingly, but it's not bad at all, not by any means. Some tracks I can't get behind, obviously, due to my own personal preference and taste, but nothing really in this playlist is technically bad. I guess the only complaint I'd really have about it is that I wish some of the tracks were a bit longer. So far, the OST, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Overall, Atlas is a very, very enjoyable game that you can just play casually and just pass the time. It's a simple action-like adventure RPG, but it's challenging enough to keep you coming back for more and to better your skills and to spend it with your friends. I originally was going to cover this game way before the update came out, but I had no idea when it would have came out at the time, and I wasn't sure how long I wanted to spend talking about the game as well, nor did I think it was worth talking about due to how much was available at the time. I didn't want to give away too much information here and to let people go play it on their own and make their own conclusion on it. I should give you all a fair warning that some mechanics in the game right now are a bit buggy and or unbalanced, but hopefully by the time this video comes out, they will have been ironed out by then. For a solo indie project, this is without a shadow of a doubt one of the best indie titles out there. Kiss is really putting all his heart and soul into this game, and it's truly outstanding just how far he's come with it all on his own. And for $10, I'd say it's a very good price. I overwhelmingly recommend this game to anyone who is a major fan to old PlayStation style adventure games, furry or non-furry. Atlyss as of right now gets a solid 8.5 out of 10, and I just can't wait to see what Kiss does in the future going forward.